Hello everybody, it's Ventus here and welcome back with another video. You know what time it is. It is game time. So I am gonna try to make a new series where I make a noob's guide to a character in certain games. In this case, it is more Rivals. Hopefully it goes well and I can continue making more. I don't know, I just felt inspired to make it. And today's game and character is Gambit from Marvel Rivals. So let's go ahead and begin. Gambit is a strategist with some strong support, damage, healing, and utility. He doesn't have the raw tankiness of a frontline, but he makes it by poking along with his sustainability and mobility. It's pretty good because he's good for, bothering the front line a little bit and be like, hey, I'm here, look at me. And he's good also for getting out. Of course, he is a strategist, so that means he can heal and do damage. Let's go ahead and break down his abilities. So first, we're going to start with his primary fire, which is just kinetic cards. So it's just this right here. That's all that is. And it does 20 damage per card and it heals 28 to allies. So the best range for it, in my opinion, is about 15 meters. I think 20 meters is pushing it because, as you can see, it has a spread, right? You have to kind of aim. So I think 15 meters is the best, where you can hit all three cards, right? He shoots three. Obviously, he shoots three cards per time you hit a card, right? Per time you hit your primary fire, and therefore you can shoot it for about 7 times. This is your core. This is gonna be your core poking and your core healing, right? Let's go ahead and go to his next ability, which is the Bayou bash. It's a little ground slam shockwave that heals and does damage. So as you can see here, it does damage, and it also heals Gambit himself because it does count him as an ally. I'm going to be going over the abilities first, and then we can talk about how to use each of them during the game plan section. I just feel like it's just easier that way, so I don't currently overload you. Okay. And as you can see, it has 2 charges, 1, 2, and it takes about 8 seconds per charge. Next, we have his Cajun charge, which is just a little dash. See, you can dash, you can aim up and even do it and stuff. Very important thing is that it goes through enemies, right? Just something to keep noted. We're just gonna use the dash, but we'll talk about it more in this next ability. You can combine. Okay, actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and show how much it goes. It goes about, actually, 10 meters. It's more like 10 meters, right? 10 meters on the ground, sort of. It's closer to 8 meters, I guess. If you aim up, you can extend it, right? But let's go ahead and talk about something a little bit more interesting, which is you could combine both the dash and the Bayou bash, which is the shockwave, right? So if you dash and then press your button, you can go even further. Now, what you saw there is that I delayed it, therefore you can go further to delay, right? Because you can just do this, right? And that's how far you go if you do it right away. Now, it does 25 damage to the enemies, and it does about 25 per healing.
Just who
right?
Gambit we're looking for.
So here are like some ways you can like use it, right? You can damage the enemy. You can go in and go out with it. Okay. Now let's go. I'll talk about it more in the gameplay section of this. We're just going over the abilities right now so you guys understand how to use them. Okay. What next we have probably this most complicated kit, and I want to use that term loosely because I understand if you're somehow watching this this is for beginner guides, right? Again, I do not want to overwhelm you guys because I want to try to make it as noob friendly as possible, coming from a fellow noob. All right, that's kind of the point of the series, right? So next we have his decks. We're going to start with a healing deck because I think that's the easiest to explain. Okay, so first we have his Healing Hearts deck, right? When you activate it, it uses a card slot. Anytime you activate a card, it will use one of your card stocks that you see in the middle next to Gambit, right? So you activate it. It lasts for 6 seconds, whatever it is that you had decided to do. And he has two choices, flush and raise. Okay. For the healing, when you activate it, you get self-heal. That is indicated by the heart that is above your health. Okay. It is self-healing, and it self-heals for about 20 seconds. For about 20 HP per second for 6 seconds. Right? So that's, if I did my math right, that's 120 HP, right? No. Sorry, that is 120 HP, yes. If I did my math right, I apologize if I didn't do my math right. Okay. So the first thing you want to be using in this mode is the bridge boost. Is the bridge boost, because that will give you a boost healing, right? So you do that, it bounces. Okay, it bounces for 6 times. It bounces for 6 times, and each bounce, every time it bounces, it heals for 50 HP. Okay, now what's really cool is that if you are clever enough, you can kind of bounce it actually, right? So if you're hiding, taking damage, you can actually bounce it off. You can actually bounce it off the floor, or you can even bounce it off a wall actually. So in case maybe you're coming from one direction or something, or maybe you're behind you're trying to fight, but also want to heal, and you just want to do that, you can go ahead and definitely do that. I actually discovered that by accident. Okay. Out of the healing, this is probably, you might be using this one the most, because the next one we'll talk about is called Purifying Pickup, right? So that is your raise. All right. So what that does, that one purifies any status effects that you have. It's probably mainly gonna be ults. It's mainly gonna be ults. Okay, it's going to be Groot ult, Black Widow ult if you have a Black Widow by any chance, and Strange ult, right? So if your friends get hit by the Strange ult, provided that you do not get hit by the Strange ult, it will purify that. Again, it kind of somewhat works like Kiriko Suzu, but not really, because in this case it's an instant purification, and it doesn't give you the invulnerability like in Overwatch. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, it heals about 70 per card, and unfortunately your teammates can only receive 2 cards, because I believe it hits a card in an arc for 7, right? So your teammates can only take two of the cards, and you can only take 1, right? So you'll get healed for 1, and you'll heal your teammates for about 140. Sorry, for about 140 in total, because they can only take 2 cards. Now I figured I talk about it here, but every time you use, let me see if I can show you. Every time you use the second ability in a deck, it also recharges, it reloads your ammo. Okay, it reloads your ammo. So let's look at, I'm at 15. I use it and look at that, it reloads. So that's something to keep in mind, because one of the main things you'll be needing is card management. Again, I'll go ahead and talk about that. I'll talk about that in the gameplay section and how to use your toolkit and whatnot. Now let's talk about the second deck that Gambit has. Before I do that, I forgot to mention that the bridge boost works about 15 meters or so. Apologize, I should have mentioned it in that section. So you have about approximately that range. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about the breaking spades mode, right? Which is just going to be attack mode. Okay. Again, it uses one card to activate and another to use it. All right. So card management for using these is going to be key. Now it does a 15% damage buff, just like you get a health buff from using the other card. It does a 15 damage buff, because normally it takes about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes about 5 hits to defeat an enemy, but here it takes 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So that is going to be very important. This is going to be your primary deck that you'll be using. Okay, will be your primary deck that you'll be using because of the damage that it does. Okay, this one is this next ability is called Explosive Trick. Okay, that, as you can see, it antis, so it's kind of like Anna's anti from Overwatch 2. It does 25% heating reduction, and it's about a 5-meter radius. So in case you guys care about how far you can do it, again, just eyeball it. If not, you can just ping, I believe. Hold on, let me see.
You best check this out.
You can ping and it'll mark it for you, so you can know how far 5 meters is. Okay, just something to keep in mind. If you don't know how long a distance is from the video that I'm talking from, like here, sorry, you can go ahead and just ping and it'll tell you about it. You just back away and they'll just give you an estimate, right? So this is the primary card you'll be using because you want to finish enemies off that way. Okay, this will be the perfect card to be using. I know Gambit is considered a strategist, but that does not mean you heal bot. I figured I mention it here, and I'll mention it again during the gameplay section, but you're not heal botting as support. Okay, right? You need to do damage because damage wins fights. Damage helps. Obviously, if your teammates are in danger like this. Okay, so now let's talk about the second thing you can do, which is the raise. This is very situational because, as you see, it plops them up. Okay, it plops the enemies up. It's very situational. You're going to be using that the least, honestly. It's only good if you want to interrupt someone getting kidnapped by an Angela or hoax jump or things like that. Okay, it's just very important to note. Now let's go ahead and talk about the most important tool in this kit, I think, because it's very broken at the moment. At the moment, okay. His ultimate, Raging Royal Flush. For those of you who care about the numbers, it costs 4,300 energy, right? 4,300, and it has a range about 40 meters. So let's go ahead and ping so I can show you. Let's ping this guy. About 40 meters, so that's kind of far to activate. Like, that's crazy. Look. Wait, oh my god, it's trying to ping some. It's literally trying to ping other things, and that's annoying. Oh, Okay, that's annoying. Hold up. Let me see. That's very annoying because I want to show you. Yeah, it goes pretty far, actually. Like, that's kind of crazy. So, anyways, as long as they're in your line of sight, you can catch them. Like, that's kind of crazy how far it goes, right? But you won't be doing it that far, okay? I just wanted to show you. So it does a couple of things, okay? First of all, you get a one-time heal of 100 HP. It goes about 40 meters, like I mentioned. It also purifies you, so in case you got stuck in a ult or something like that, you get a 50% speed boost, another healing per second, 75 heals per second while the ult is active, and the ult lasts for 10 seconds. So that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. You also get increased jump height. So let me go ahead and show you that. Actually, you get increased jump height. You know that you will hit your teammates by the indication of this card. You charge your ult 30% faster, which is even crazy, and then you charge your ult as well when you're hitting the teammates here, the enemies here, right? So let's go ahead and activate it. You want to look, and then let's see if I can show you here. Yes, you see that little flash? It also does. It hits that twice per hit, I believe. So it does an additional damage there, and that little flash you see at the end of the ult, it does 65 damage there. So you're doing massive damage. You're doing healing. You're doing everything. It's crazy and it's ridiculous. Okay, so now that I covered that, let's go ahead and talk about gameplay. How do you want to play Gambit? How do you want to use the abilities and things like that? First, you want to play Gambit as an off angle. Okay, he is not a flanker. I know people probably might disagree with me, but he can kind of flank provided that you're skilled enough. Okay. And I mean kind of, because he can definitely win 1v1s. Okay, he definitely has the toolkit to win 1v1s. Okay, he definitely does have the toolkit, but you have to kind of catch your enemies by surprise or just be extremely skilled. Again, if you're confident enough, do it, but he is definitely not a flanker. He plays around with his teammates. You want to get an off angle helping your teammates, right? So because you want to make sure, right, you also want to poke, right? You want to be in a position where you're close enough to your enemies, but not that far, because let's see, let's go back here, because you could technically like be up here, I guess, right? You want to be poking, but as soon as you see your teammates, the enemies come after you, you just go back. Okay, you want to be close enough to your teammates while you can retreat. Okay, because remember, damage wins games, not just heal botting. Okay, and that's just something to take care of, right? You poke, you activate your card because it's your primary way of winning, right? Activate it, and then right before it runs out, you want to activate it. If you're not sure how long it's going to last, it's fine, because there's a little meter there for you that indicates when it's going to run out, so you're fine. And you finish, if you know you're gonna finish them off, right? If you're just poking for right now and you're gonna win the fight last second, just do that. Boom, they die, because that's, again, it's a lot of damage, and they get antied, right? Now, if you're good at dealing damage, right, and poking and stuff, you'll get the kill. But if you and your team are trying to get the kill, it's important to communicate and tell, like, hey, I antied this character, let's go ahead and take him down, right? Again, something basic, please just go after the supports. Okay, go after the supports first, after squishy characters. Okay, tell your teammates, like, hey, I got this character, blah blah. Again, you always want to play height as well, right? You want to stay up here. Be poking. Now let's go and talk about how you can use his other tools. Okay, we can do it here, actually. Okay, so here's a combo that you can go ahead and use, right? If you're 1v1ing or trying to finish, right? You want to hit once, splash that, and then do that, right? I'll try to slow it down for you here, but it's going to be activate your damage card, hit once, your bash, dash, and then finish it off with that. I know I ran out there because I slowed it down for you, but again, one more time, that. Oh, I messed up there, but you get my point. You can also just finish like that. Again, you're not always going to be hitting all your shots. Okay, I'm not perfect. Again, this is supposed to be a noob's guide. Okay. Now, as you can see, you can use it for damage, right? You can also heal yourself, right? So in case you're taking damage, right? I think probably that might be the, like, your bash regularly is going to be the way to be healing yourself, or to finish off enemies, right? So if you have enough resources, because again, the most important thing is resource management for Gambit, because I know right here I have, you know, the hacks on where I don't run out, but but you'll be learning how to research manage. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about his little tornado. I'll just call it tornado so you guys, you know, it's easier, right? Your tornado is good for healing, help healing last minute in case you can't reach for some reason, or you're reloading, you're like, oh man, I'm not gonna make it. Okay, that's, you know, it's good for that. It's good for getting in and out. Okay, at the end of the day, it's up to your discretion, because you're just gonna have to play the game a lot to get game sense and stuff, right? Game sense is something that I can't teach you, unfortunately. You know, it's just, honestly, you learn by playing the game. You can learn by watching other people's videos. You can, you know, hopefully this series kind of starts well, and, you know, I can give you more tips. Again, I am not a pro by any means, okay, because I don't want to see in the comments, if I get comments saying like, oh, but like you missed this part, this is meant for other people who are just casually competitive. Is that the best way I can say it? Okay, I try to include stats as much as I could. Okay, so again, you want to go in, go out, you know, do some damage, or maybe you're doing a little sneaky sneak. Maybe you're doing a little sneaky sneak, and you can just do this, that, and then that, and then that, and finish them off. Now, a thing you can do if you want to try to get the full damage is, if you're on controller like me, you want to aim at the ground a little bit. Maybe you want to increase the sense. I don't know. It's up to you, but you kind of want to try to... Yeah, you want to try to do that actually, right? Because you want to get the full damage there. So yeah, you do see how I hit everything there? So that's just something worth noting. Again, you want to start with this, and there you go. You're lucky that you got 2 kills. And don't be afraid to chase, right? When they're running away like this, right? And let the bot run away. Actually, let me turn this way. They're running away. Boom! Just go that and just finish them off, because they are going to try to run away from you when they're low HP and where they are in danger. Again, ultimately, it is up to your call to know how to use the abilities. I can only teach you what they do. I can't really show you how to use them. Don't worry, I'm going to be adding a gameplay section at the end of this video, and that being said, I will go ahead and show you some gameplay, and hopefully you guys understand what to do and whatnot.
We sure a long way
Hello.
from the Big Easy.
Hello everybody. I'm here with the gameplay portion of this guide.
Get ready.
I hope you guys like the format. Please let me know. I should have said this at the very beginning, but please let me know if you like the format, or if you want me to change it up.
Atlas reunion tour? I don't know.
Can't deny that would be a hot ticket.
Maybe, but I've always preferred the cold.
I'm only going to play one game because I don't want the video to be any longer.
2, 1.
We'll see what happens.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
All right, again, you want to play around your team, use cover. A lot of people don't even know how to use cover, even like, especially tanks, because, or DPS, because they get upset that, oh, I'm not hitting them. So just use cover. So again, you want to start with this. Oh. And don't get sad if you don't win, okay, guys? Because you're not always gonna win. You're not always gonna be perfect. That teammate is overextending, but hey, look at that. We pushing it. And here, let's go ahead and brush boots so they don't die. And someone needs to take that Iron Man. It's kind of hard, but there. Oh no, that was my fault. I let that person die because.
I was worried.
Can I get that? There we go. I wish I can get in there. Spider-Man sucks. He needs to get out of there. Sorry, I can't be mean, right? Like, I'm making a video here. But my point is that Spider-Man is not getting out of the way. He would have died earlier. It went for... Let's get the Luna here. There we go. Yo, what happened to Spider-Man? Alright, well, hey. Stuff happens, I guess, okay? You're not always going to win. Okay, you're not always going to... Let's go ahead and reposition myself so I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go after this Iron Man because he's been so annoying. Okay. Okay, he decided to leave. One's down. I hear somebody walking right here. And make sure you ping your enemies because sometimes maybe you don't want to talk or whatever.
I like the cold.
Like right now, I do not want to talk. Hold on, let's go ahead and heal. There we go. I have my ult. There's no reason to use it right now. Nice. Okay, they got the storm. So again, you want to play around your team. You want to play around cover, heal when needed, and obviously keep doing damage right now. Hold on, what is Rocket doing here, bro? Oh, never mind. The Rocket's down. And when you see your team be aggressive, go ahead and be aggressive. Look at that. And let's go back because I'm getting attacked. You want to be near your team. There you go. Look at that. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Okay. Again, positioning and what you... Oh, get out of the way. Oh, wow. The Luna should have just hit in there, I guess. Yeah, don't be afraid to help your teammates here as well. Oh, she's about to die. She don't want to die. It's fine. Where you going? Oh. That should have killed her, honestly, but... Oh my god. Okay. I didn't make it on time. Wait, does he heal the teammates now? Now let's go ahead and go up here, because again, you want to be on hide as much as possible. Want to see your team. Oh, again, you'll make mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. Okay, so don't let anybody tell you like, oh my god, you're doing such a terrible job. Unless you're really doing really bad. Oh, look at that, my teammates. I did not need to use my ult, but let's go ahead and use it here. We don't need to use it, right? But so yeah, that way you have a general idea how it works. Oh, let's go ahead and hide from that, because you don't want that. Oh no. Okay, well, they're overextending, so that's what happened. Okay. Yes, you don't want to be near that because that does splash damage, as you can see. So here, since Luna was healing, you want to do damage, right? I know you're supposed to target. I know I said to target supports, but it's a little hard right now. Someone's coming, I think, or trying to come. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's hard because I want to help make sure that... Oh, look here, we get in here. And look. I did that. I should have done the splash, but oh, yeah, since I didn't have a thing here. This is real firepower. Look at that, we want, because our Venom was pushing the team away. Of course, I made some mistakes. I am not perfect. It is difficult. Hey, look, and I got an IP. Nice. Okay. Okay, that was really good. Actually, that was very, very good. I know there we were winning, so it's kind of hard to like show you. To kind of show you. Oh, I wanted to see stuff. It's okay. I know there was a little bit difficult to show you like to do, but in case there will be moments where you win like that strongly and stuff. So just go back to the video. If you want to look at that stuff and whatnot. But again, if you're winning, you want to play more aggressively, right? Obviously, if you're losing, you want to play a little more defensively and see what you can do. Maybe change up your strategy. Again, it is entirely your decision. You need to be aware of how your team is doing and what the enemy is doing. Okay, I can't teach you that, unfortunately. But again, we steamrolled that team, so you want to play it more aggressively. Okay, you want to help do more damage as Gambit. I'm not saying just be DPS Gambit. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. And before anybody comes after me and says, oh my god, you're just saying to DPS. No, we should find a balance, but you will be DPSing more than healing. Okay, that wins games. All right, if anyone tells you otherwise, tell them to get off the game, please. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this video and this type of content, please let me know in the comments and I'll make more guides. I do have another guide in the works right now if this goes well. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.